Hello, Riverside community. Dr. Rotino here with an important update about the future of our school district. Our team has been working diligently to develop a comprehensive facilities plan that addresses both the immediate and long-term needs of our school district and our community. In this video, we will walk you through the two key parts of our plan. First, the immediate needs. This focuses on the urgent upgrades to address some of the limited space issues at our elementary buildings. Second, the long-term needs is a vision for how we can adapt and expand our facilities over time to accommodate future growth and provide innovative, modern spaces of learning focused on the portrait of a Riverside Beaver. Now we need your feedback, and it's urgent. We ask that you please watch this video and then take a few minutes to complete the feedback form, which will close this Sunday night. Your input will help guide us making decisions that best serve our students and community. Thank you for your time and support. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and working together to ensure Riverside Schools continues to be one community pursuing greatness and getting better every day.
The Riverside Facilities Plan is broken into two major parts. The first part is our immediate needs, which are those projects which will hopefully be completed under 5 years. The second part is our long-term facilities need, in which we shape the future of our district. Both of these plans are focused around the portrait of a Riverside Beaver, in which we believe that our educational spaces need to support the attainment of both foundational knowledge and essential skills as defined in the portrait of a Riverside Beaver. These do not happen always in the traditional classroom in rows. Our immediate needs and options arise from some elementary classroom space concerns, both prior and current. New residential developments, along with historical redistricting issues, have placed potential stress on some of our elementary schools. The first example of that is Riverview Elementary. Riverview was designed to have 4 sections at each grade level. Currently, Riverview has 3 grade levels with 5 sections. Additional students projected from finishing the Fairway Pines development as well as the upcoming Casement development requires more space at Riverview. Historically, when we look at the past, we can look to Buckeye Elementary. Buckeye currently has 6 modular classrooms housed in 3 units. The majority of these students in Buckeye saw its enrollment increase from the building of the Heisley Park development as well as Heisley Park Encore, as all those students are zoned to Buckeye Elementary. How do you predict enrollment? The prediction of enrollment is tough, but what we can look at is the live birth ratio in historical context. When we look at this chart shows the live births and the corresponding enrollment rate to kindergarten. Historically, this has not been an accurate trend for Riverside because it wasn't until 2019 that we offered all-day, everyday kindergarten. So when you look at from 2019 further, all the way up to our current school year, we see that our average survival rate is about 0.95 of the live births. We see a spike right here, and that can be attained to the COVID parents who didn't want to send their children to kindergarten for their first year coming off of COVID. So they waited a year and they sent them all. We have a larger class this year. We do see kind of a trend common where we're keeping about 300 live births in the area with the exception of 2028, the class of 2028, so 2027, 2028 students, where we're projecting a larger kindergarten class in the area. So what does that mean for our class sizes? Well, we try to target our class sizes at Riverview and have some kind of average numbers that we look for when we look at enrollments. Kindergarten is typically under 21 students. Our current average are in parentheses at 20. First and second grade are under 23. We're averaging 23 and 21 district-wide, with the exception of Riverview having a larger class size over the average and Melridge having a larger class size over our predicted average in second grade. In third, fourth, and fifth grade, we look for class sizes of under 26. It should be noted that both Parkside and Riverview classrooms, all of them, K through 5, were designed for 25 students per classroom. So what are our options? Well, immediate option number 1 is to address the issue that specifically impacts Riverview. So that would be to add a physical addition to Riverview Elementary of between 8 and 16 classrooms. This is going to add anywhere between 9,400 square feet, that's an 8 classroom minimum, to 21,000 square feet, all 16, to Riverview specifically. This will allow us to move some of the self-contained special ed classrooms back to Riverview where they were initially planned, free up our music room for actually music instruction, and allow for additional opportunities at the Riverview campus. Up to 5 sections per grade plus swing classes will be available for all of these new students that are not only current now, but also predicted with our new development. This expands the Riverview building to up to over 850 students, so it will be a large elementary school. And our construction cost is predicted between 4.7 to 10.5 million based on square footage. And we are using $500 a square foot for classroom space, which is pretty much the industry standard right now. Each of these options have strengths and challenges. The strengths with option one are we add additional classrooms and collaborative spaces as needed to handle future development. We move classrooms and alternative rooms back to their designated classrooms, and we add the opportunity to create potential pre-K opportunities. The challenges with this plan are the classes currently as sketched out are not designed for kindergarten. And if we were to make them kindergarten specific, they would require 200 additional square feet per kindergarten or preschool class, as well as a bathroom in each of those to match the current kindergarten spaces. Adding 8 classrooms makes Riverview an extremely large elementary building. This plan only benefits the Riverview community and those who are districted to Riverview. The addition of these 8 to 16 classes would require additional special staff to maintain current programming, along with additional classified staff to maintain the building to the standards that we expect. Additional teaching staff would add cost to our general fund, and that would compound annually. And also, lunch, recess, and parking could prove challenging with the additional families and students to the building. Just kind of an overview shot of Riverview Elementary and our 4 options. The first option is a 2-story option, which builds directly off the back of Riverview and adds 8 classrooms. Our second option is a 1-story, 8-classroom addition here. These would be additional bathrooms added to the Riverview building. This cuts out into the main soccer field. Our third story, which adds the most square feet, adds our 16 classrooms. This right here is these are bathrooms, be it on both floors, and a stairwell to access the second floor. And then our fourth option is a little bit different. It does not go into the soccer field. It actually goes off to the side. It does require some interior remodeling, so we have to cut through a classroom and we convert a classroom to a hallway. And then we add 5 additional classrooms over 2 stories, so a net gain of 2 classrooms for the building. The option number 2 is to add 8 classrooms to Lamouth and move all 5th grade to Lamouth Middle School. This builds off the current success we're having by moving the Buckeye and Melridge 5th graders to Lamouth this year. This is going to add about 8,200 to 9,500 square feet to Lamouth, depending on the design. It allows us to move self-contained and special ed classrooms back to both Parkside and Riverview, as we're moving 4 classes out of each. All of our 5th graders will be on a middle school schedule. It allows for us to have some future flexibility in any of the plan that we choose. We're not just putting our eggs in one elementary basket, although we do know that there's going to be a lot of construction there. Our estimated construction cost is between $4.1 and $4.8 million to do that, plus whatever else we'd want to renovate Lamouth as needed. And there is a potential shift to free up some spaces in our legacy buildings by doing some redistricting, moving some students potentially in the Melridge district to Parkside, moving some Buckeye students to Melridge. That would free up some space at Buckeye as well along in this process once the classrooms are added to Lamouth. Strengths and challenges with option 2. Neither one option is perfect. Option 2 does benefit all district students and not just those in the Riverside district. All district elementary schools have the same grade bands now, so it puts our middle school to be a true 5-7. It does allow us for future flexibility with whatever plan we choose in a long-term efficient. It does allow us to be potentially more efficient from an operations standpoint. It does not take as many teachers to run a middle school schedule and put a grade level in because all of the students are in one space, as it does having students at 3 different locations across the district. So we would actually say from teacher standpoint, we wouldn't need to add as many teachers. It would allow us to put some teachers and move them around. The 3 grade span also allows for more familiarity with all of our students with the building and eliminates some potential transitioning issues. Some of the challenges that exist with this is it does not create additional kindergarten or pre-kindergarten rooms if needed immediately. It doesn't even provide us with that option. It only opens 4 additional rooms at Riverview. However, it does give us some time to see what the impact of the new casement development would do, and we can adjust as needed. All of the sketches that I will show you are 1-story additions. And it does have some additional logistics that could happen with the Auburn Road and traffic patterns. All of our schools have issues with traffic along the way, and these will become challenges to any type of additions we put onto our buildings. Here's a 48.3 acres of Lamouth from an overview, and some of our sketches as to where they go. Options 1 and 2 put the sketches off the back of the building. Option 1 is kind of the straight shot. We're just adding 8 classrooms right off the back. It's actually tying into a science prep room. These would be restrooms here, and then your 8 classrooms right there. Option 2 takes that science storage spaces and moves it, shifts them over a little bit, 8 classes, and adds a collaborative space as well for those students in those 8 classes to do some collaborative work along the way. Option 3 puts the classrooms in the front of the building in a single story, similar to the office, and adds a courtyard space along the way with 2 ways to get to those classes. And then option 4 puts the students in the front of the building as well, but puts them off the long hallway at the very end of the new addition, and out to the front. Those are our short-term plans, that address our immediate needs, and now we're going to shift into 3 of our long-term options that came out of the focus group work we did this summer. All of our long-term planning options address safety and security. They make sure that we have equitable learning spaces across grade levels. They do reorganize grade levels for operational efficiency to some extent. Our classroom spaces and opportunities are concurrent with those needs in the portrait of a Riverside Beaver, and they plans allow for the district to pivot as needed to accommodate potential changes in the population. They all do assume grade level shifts. They all do assume potential redistricting. They assume the renovation of the Riverside campus in some form instead of replacement, at additional cost. They all have the requirement of unforecasted funding, and they all do provide opportunities for alternative funding initiatives through partners throughout the district. The first option is to build a 5-8 middle school on the Riverside campus. This option would require the campus to renovate and become a 9-12 high school with an enrollment of 1,300 students. The middle school would be new. We would build a 5-8 middle school on that campus property. Again, 1,300 students. 185,000 square feet is about what we would need. And the estimated cost based on the OFCC probable cost is about $73 million today. That cost is going to do nothing but go up down the road, but we kind of know where we're at in apples to apples comparison. We would convert Lamouth to a K4 building and district Buckeye and Melridge students to attend there, and maybe make some districting shifts along the way to provide an even balanced classroom, or as balanced as we can across the district. And Buckeye, we would keep for an early learning center if needed, to expand that. And Melridge, we could decommission and take offline, but still keep and reuse as another district need. The strengths and the challenges: we have land. We have plenty of land on the campus property to build this new school. You'll find these strengths being the same with both option 1 and option 2. It places both grades 5 through 12 on the same educational campus to increase organizational efficiency. When we build a new building, we have swing space to allow for renovations to occur, to make it a little easier and efficient to have these renovations. We decommission one building completely, adding to organizational efficiency. And we have the option to partner with other agencies for some of our non-academic spaces that we will kind of continue to build. The challenges are the renovated K4 building will not be identical to our buildings at Parkside and Riverview, but will provide the equitable experiences from an educational standpoint. And the additional traffic, again, traffic is a theme around the campus, will necessitate additional entrances to service those roads efficiently and buildings efficiently. Long-term option 2 is basically the same as option 1, except now we're building a new 9-12 high school, and we would convert the campus to a middle school. So the high school would be, 1,300 students again, but it have square footage of 210,000 square feet. High school students and high schools do require more square footage because of additional options and facilities. More square footage means more cost, so it's about $82 million in today's dollars to build. The campus we would convert to a 5-8 building. This 5-8 building would still have 1,300 students. There's a lot of square footage there, so we might be able to take some of that square footage off the line and repurpose it for other reasons or other uses. Lamouth again would be a K4, Buckeye would be the Early Learning Center, and Melridge again would be decommissioned or used or held for future use if needed. Strengths with that: again, land is available to build this. We have grades 5 through 12 increasing organizational efficiency. The 9-12 high school has significant potential for career community spaces and partnerships. These would be larger gyms, things like that. The new high school could lead to opportunities at JRW to kind of focus some of those rooms for some other options as well. Challenges, the biggest one is the most expensive of the renovations and the cost of the project. Another challenge is shifting and rebranding the iconic Riverside campus to become a middle school. That campus is not set up for teaming, which could also provide a challenge. And again, the K4 building at Lamouth would be equitable but not identical to those at Parkside and Riverview. The final option is a little bit different. It's building a significant addition to Buckeye. In this option, we would renovate the campus and keep it as an A12 building. We would we would assume the prior Lamouth renovation is a 5.7 building for 900 to be about 155,000 square feet in the immediate needs. The third option would be we renovate an addition of 18 classrooms and a gym to Buckeye. So Buckeye would basically double in size, and we would increase the enrollment and bring the Melridge students over to Buckeye. The estimated cost for this is about $17 million just for the new spaces. It does not include renovation dollars to do anything to the inside of the current Buckeye Elementary. Now, Melridge we would renovate, keep that as an early learning center if we needed. We could also keep that for other district uses as we see down the road or may need down the road. Strengths and challenges with this option: all legacy buildings are restored. It removes all modular units. It does provide, again, equitable elementary facilities district-wide. As we build those new classrooms, we would build specific kindergarten classrooms as needed. We'd repurpose current space, and it is the most cost-efficient option. It does directly impact families who did not benefit from the building of either Parkside or Riverview. It provides them with that option at that point. Challenges, the biggest is availability of swing space. Where the renovation was built, there we currently have the modular classrooms, so it does provide a challenge as to what we do with those classrooms during the renovation. We do lack the operational efficiency to putting grades 5 through 12 on the same campus, and we currently would have some kind of space between there. As we build on, we would not qualify for OFCC reimbursement when eligible, but the savings of just renovating Buckeye would probably offset and mitigate that. But when we built a new building, if we built it to that standard, that would be a check that we would get back when we became eligible for OFCC funds. And then obviously there's the unknown and unanticipated costs in remodeling and renewing the existing building of Buckeye that exists. So it kind of a crew drawing of Buckeye, but here's where we would put the additional classrooms. Back here, you can see how it cuts into the some of the modular units that are there. This is where the new gym would go up in the front, which would provide Buckeye with the same space, a separate gym and separate cafeteria like Riverview and Parkside. We would have to do some drastic renovation to the parking lot to add more parking for the more students and families and teachers who are at Buckeye, and hopefully work with some of this land in the back to add a separate bus drop-off for students as well, like our new building, so we separate car traffic and rider traffic from bus traffic. As with any district, we have some non-academic facility needs. We've identified that we have a need for a transportation department and maintenance facilities. We do need a new transportation garage on the campus property. We would like to move it away from the traffic flow of the campus towards the back and potentially convert that transportation into a maintenance garage and add additional storage facility. This is long-term down the road, but this is absolutely needed to keep our fleet running in the most efficient way possible. Community feedback has presented that athletic facilities and additional athletic facilities are important to our community. So we want to look at how we can provide an additional potential turf field for some of our sports, especially our spring sports, whether it be lacrosse or soccer in the fall. There's a need and a desire to have an additional place for year-round and fields. Our current field is pretty much occupied 7 days a week. When it's not occupied by school events and activities, the community is on it a lot as well. And the last is either a renovation to the current auditorium or the addition of a performing arts center. All these would be down the road in our long-term plan and project, and we would kind of try to work some of these in as they are desired for not only just the educational settings, but what we do as a performing and a centering hub for our community, which is a key to this. So the next steps. Please take a minute to either scan the QR code or go to the survey bit.ly/Riverside Facilities to fill out some feedback along these options as to what are the strengths in each of them, what do you see as the potential weaknesses, if you had a preference, which one you would prefer. The more feedback we get, the more educated decisions we can make. Thank you for your time and have a great day.